day 2 of our fast. Hallelujah. That is good. That's the good stuff. Oh, today's been hard for me. How's it going for you? All right. It's lunchtime. And I have prepared most of my things. Here we go. Ta-da! We're going to talk about food today. I got this. Spoiled myself. Normally I just get a big box of mixed greens, but I got these artisan little mini lettuce heads. And I'm telling you, they are gorgeous. So I cut one in half, but 4 of these guys, you could grill these, grill them. Anyway, so we've got our lettuce. Any kind of lettuce will do, like even kale, even arugula. We have a free DIY fasting mimicking diet menu in the description that you can download. And it has a menu that will put you into a true fasted state, keep you there for 5 days, and then you have to make sure that you are refeeding well and that you're breaking your fast in the most healthy way possible. Okay. It does include some oil, so that is the only like processed product. Otherwise, it's only whole plant foods. Yay! So we've got our black olives, we have our red bell pepper, we've got cherry tomatoes, any type of tomatoes. And I will tell you, these orange tomatoes, if you are looking for like a healthy snack, I know that sounds so weird to say just eat orange tomatoes, but cherry tomatoes are so good. They're so good. We have a little bit of corn. So we are allowed minimal, moderate carbs. And that's pretty much for like long-term safety reasons. But we've got some mixed, they're not mixed corn. I can't even think. I'm suffering today. We're only on day 2 here. Okay. This is not mixed corn. This is frozen corn that I've just nuked. And everything has been weighed out. Some cucumber, some black olives. And now I'm going to show you a couple of hacks. They're not really hacks. This is just an avocado. So we get 30 grams of avocado today. This is always like the exciting part. Ooh, yeah. So let's measure this out. And in terms of like hacks of managing the hunger, I said it yesterday, like sparkling waters, bunch of teas, bunch of drinks. Sometimes that really doesn't hack it. Maybe if you can lie down, just take a breather, have some rest, distract yourself, go for a walk, call a friend. All right, 30 grams exactly. So those 2 small pieces, that's what 30 grams of avocado looks like. 10 grams of olives. And should I do a wedge salad? What should I do? What do you feel like today? Wedge salad? I just thought this looks so cute that I could actually make a wedge salad. Let's do that. Ta-da! Alrighty. We've got our avocado. We've got our olives. I might just pile everything kind of like along the sides and not really dress it as a salad. I think I'm just going to cut this in half too. So it's a little more manageable. And then I will literally take a fork and knife to this because why not? And then these guys, I'm telling you, these are unbelievable. They're so good. So pile all of that on here. I'm going to keep my high-fat items. These are our high-fat items, olives, avocado, and then everything else is non-starchy vegetable. So these are like the very low-fat, low-cal, low-protein, low everything, but very high in nutrients, nutrient-dense. These are our high-fat items, and then this is our starch. Corn is a starch. It doesn't have as many calories as like a potato or like whole grains and stuff in terms of like keeping us full, but we can totally stay full. Let's salt some of our items. Definitely our avocado and pepper. And the hack that I'm going to show you is I got myself a thing of basil, because I'm telling you, when you add just a little bit of basil to any salad, it is so delicious. So delish. So let's tear that up. And oh my gosh, it smells so good. So on the menu, I think it says 5 grams of basil, but these are really like, it's so low cal. Smell this. Ooh, smells so delish. Yeah, it's so low cal that you don't really, if you go a little bit over, all I'm saying is that's probably totally fine. Not probably, it is totally fine. Okay, now look at this abundant plate of food. Pretty incredible. Let's squeeze some. Now we got to dress it, right? So if you don't do oil, don't do oil. I'm going to douse it in lemon juice. That looks amazing. But today I am going to add a little bit of oil because I think I should bust this guy open. I got this as a gift recently, and thank you, gifter. So why not? Oh, it smells very olivey. Okay, I even got one of these things in here. And this, I should measure this out, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit. And there we go. Finito, there we go. Woohoo! So this morning's call, we had a couple of good questions. I mean, many good questions, great comments, great feedback, great help. It's like lovely to get that group think going. And telling you, coffee is a real issue for many people I know. I've not had any coffee in 2 days so far. That's kind of a huge thing for me. But one of our new fasters, she said that coffee without almond milk is a real deal for her, as well as sugar. So her question was, can I add almond milk to my coffee while I'm doing this fast? Now, if you download our menu, you're going to see all of the ingredients. You're going to see all of the specific amounts in terms of grams, the weights of every food. Combine all of that together, and now you're hitting the official macros of the official fasting mimicking diet. And so that's why we're very confident that this will put you in a fasted state, keep you in a fasted state, and you're only including a bunch of whole plants. Now, if you were to look online, there are other DIY menus where you can go purchase some products, but we love the fresh food aspect. Like the fact that this is a fasting meal blows me away. I was going to say this is lunch. Typically on a normal day, this is not lunch because this is not enough calories, because we have all of this low cal veg. The only thing that's really going to like fill me and sustain me on a day to day is I'm going to need way more corn. I'm a starch girl, but just, yeah. Anyway, for a fasting meal, this is fantastic. And going back to the almond milk, I'm all over the place. I need food. Going back to the almond milk, and you look at our menu, you can absolutely include almond milk with your coffee, doing a DIY. But what that's going to mean is it's going to mean that you're going to have to adjust the rest of the ingredients. And now, because almond milk, even if it's just a splash, I mean, weigh it, but I'm going to guess that it's going to account for a lot of calories compared to this kind of abundance. So if you're going to add in an almond milk, totally doable, but you might have to remove like all this corn, for instance. So it's very doable, very flexible. We have one beautiful faster who I just love. And she commented on just how much freedom there is with this menu. And that is so true. Like, take all food components, pop them into something like a chronometer and do the math, do the numbers. You can come up with so many different recipes. I'm working on a Korean version and just tightening that up. So I think that's going to be a really good one. That way we can kind of switch it up during the fast and not just eat the exact same meals for 4 days in a row. But I'm telling you, that corn is so sweet, especially when you're in a fasted state and your palate's like cleansed. The cherry tomatoes are so refreshing. If you saute these bell peppers, it completely changes the flavor profile. And then you add that, a tiny little bit of cooked food with all the raw food. So good. The hit of basil. I mean, if you have not tried basil in your salads, that's the best thing you're going to learn today. Okay, well, that is that. Other questions? Let's see. Okay. Somebody else asked about red onions. That's totally fine. It's a low-calorie vegetable. They asked about hummus. Hummus is, of course, coming from the garbanzo beans, and so beans are very high in protein. And this is a very low protein week where we want to stay in a fasted state. So I'm going to say no to the hummus, but if you want just like a tiny dollop of it, you can do that on day one. Day one, there's more calories, so we're in a transition phase into a fast. If you say, well, screw you, I'm going to have hummus, then you can have the hummus, but it's just going to be a little more difficult to do the math. I've tried. Not impossible, of course not, but I'm just saying you're going to miss out on the variety of foods and the quantity, the bulk. And this is what we love about this DIY menu is the bulk. Look at this. Isn't that insane? So I'm going to go sit down, take a load off, do this. I hope you're doing well. If you too are having kind of a hard day today, maybe you can task switch to something where you can just kind of like sit and be more observing versus executing and all the rest. I highly recommend going out and getting some air. Just shift your perspective and just stop getting so focused on food or your hunger or anything that you're kind of painfully challenged with right now. And yeah, like I said, call a friend, just connect. Having that human connection makes all the difference, as we know. One little comment I wanted to touch on was Fasting Cancer, Walter Longo's new book. And if you know anybody who's going through this, and if you are maybe going through this yourself, and that's why you're looking into the fasting mimicking diet, I would highly, highly recommend reading this book, Fasting Cancer by Walter Longo. If you're working with an oncologist, buy the book for the oncologist and get them to read it if they're not familiar with the FMD. All I will say is there's something called differential stress resistance. Those are the 3 words you're going to want to remember. Differential stress resistance. If you are going towards standard care, I'm not going to ruin the book for you because Dr. Longo has spoken about this ad nauseum, but the book shows so many different examples, chapter by chapter, separating it out based on specific cancer types. And his research and the research of all of his people that he's working with all over the globe, cancer clinics all over the globe are using standard care with a variety of different cancers, but fasting the patient first. So when you are in a fasted state, there's something called differential stress resistance, which is a protective barrier around our healthy cells. And so what that means is that we're in a fasted state, we've got that shield on, that magical shield, then we go in for standard care. And that is going to target more of the cancerous cells because they don't have that shield. They don't listen to the innate programming that's going on in the human body. And so they are much more targeted. So standard care is much more effective. Side effects are way less for patients. And I mean, quality of life is just mass improved. So differential stress resistance, look into that. And I mean, I guess a lot of oncologists in the United States, at least, are waiting for the FMD to become FDA approved. But as Walter Longo always says, sometimes we're in a situation where we don't really have the time. We don't have the time. Our family has been very affected by that. And so, just spreading the news, spreading the good news. side effects can be lower, our chances of survival are much higher. And there are plenty of beautiful stories within this book that talk about remission and all the rest. So, Fasting Cancer, get your copy. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, and no, that's it. Okay. I need to stop going on and on and on here. So that was it. I just wanted to come and hang with you just for a quick second. If you want to check out our version of our DIY fasting mimicking diet menu, check the link in the description. And I'm going to go sit down with my daughter, who's very distracting right now, and have my lunch. See you tomorrow. Bye. Okay.